Good morning, dear children. This is teacher Babita, and I'm going to continue with the same chapter, chapter number 5, Inside the Atom. Now you know that, children, in an atom, the nucleus contains the neutrons and the protons. The neutrons, they don't have any charge, while the protons are positively charged. Both the neutrons and protons, they are closely packed in the nucleus. And what about electrons? Right, they move in a circular orbit around the nucleus. These orbitals, they are called as shells. Also, you know that, children, each shell has a specific number of electrons that revolve around the nucleus. Now, specific number of electrons means what? That how many electrons can be accommodated in each shell. Now, in the previous video, children, we have seen that we have a particular formula to find out that how many electrons can be accommodated in each shell. Remembering the formula? Yes, 2 into n raised to 2. Yeah, with the help of that formula, we can find out with the how many electrons are present or accommodated in each shell. Yeah. Now the arrangement of electrons in the shell, it's nothing but the electronic configuration. Now as the name itself suggests, electronic means electron and configuration means arrangement or the layout. So in simple word we can say that arrangement of electrons in the shell is called as electronic configuration. Let us understand with some example, children. Now here I am going to show the electronic configuration of some elements. Now first element I will take the oxygen atom. I have taken the oxygen atom. Now there are 8 electrons in an oxygen atom. Now these 8 electrons, are they accommodated in a single shell? Are they all the electrons are going in a single shell and they are accommodating themselves? No. By rule, the 2 electrons must be in the K shell, while the remaining 6 electrons out of the 8, they must be in the L shell. We have the K, L, M and shell, the names of the shell. So in the K shell, by rule, it should be 2 and the remaining 6 electrons, they are accommodated in the next shell, that is L shell. So that means the electronic configuration of oxygen atom is 2, 6. Okay, understood? Let's see one more example. Now here we have taken the chlorine atom. It has 17 electrons. And how it is arranged here? See, this is the arrangement of the electrons in a chlorine atom. Now the 2 electrons in the K shell and remaining 8 electrons in the next L shell and the remaining 7 electrons in the last, that is outermost shell. So the electronic configuration of the chlorine atom we can say 2, 8, 7. Total 17 electrons. So we can say the electronic configuration of chlorine is 2, 8 and 7. Let's see the next one. Here the next example is sodium electron. We have 11 electrons. Sodium atom has 11 electrons. And how it is arranged? The 2 electron in the first shell, the 8 electron in the second shell and the remaining 1 in the outermost shell. So the electronic configuration of the sodium atom will be 2, 8, 1. Okay, follow, children? Now moving further to some more examples. Here we have taken helium electrons. Helium atom. Helium atom has only 2 electrons. So we can say the electronic configuration of helium atom is 2. The next one we have taken the neon atom. It has 10 electrons and the electronic configuration of neon atom is 2, 8. Right? By rule, the 2 electrons in the first orbit and the remaining in the next orbit. 8 electron. Now one more example, argon. It has 18 electron. And how the electronic configuration shows? Yes, 2, 8, 8. So children, now here we have seen several examples of the electronic configuration. And now you must be knowing that how the electronic configuration of an atom is detected or it can be found out. Now let's see all the examples together. Now we have taken the oxygen, chlorine, sodium. We have seen the configuration of helium, neon and argon. Now children, can you see some similarities and differences between these, whatever examples we have studied, we have taken together? Out of these examples, can you see some similarities and differences? Yes, we can see certain similarities and differences. Now here in the oxygen atom, we can see 6 electrons in the outermost orbit. That means only we are observing the last shell, that is the outermost shell of the atoms. Here chlorine contains 7 electrons in the outermost orbit. Sodium contains 1 electron in the outermost orbit. The atom helium contains 2 electrons. The neon as well as argon contains 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. Now children, what we are going to do by observing the outermost orbit of these atoms? Okay children, why I told you to observe this? Because by rule, it is said that the maximum number of electrons that the outermost shell of an atom can possess is 8. Yes, and that is called as a octet rule. That means the maximum number of electrons the outermost orbit can contain or accommodate is 8. Also, the word octet is derived from the word octa, meaning 8. Now, 8 is considered as a magical number for an atom. Now, what makes this 8 so special for the atoms? Let's understand that. Now, children, if I'll give you a bag of chocolate, you love chocolate, right? Now, if there is a bag of chocolate left open before you and it is told to you to grab the chocolates from the bag, children, how many chocolates you will grab it at once? No doubt, you will try to take as much as chocolate your hand can accommodate, right? So that means the maximum number of chocolate you will wish for. It's a human tendency, children. We are trying to grab the maximum number of chocolates in our hands. Similarly, the atoms wanted to have the maximum number of electrons in their shells. They want to have the maximum number of electrons the shells can accommodate. That means they want to achieve the stable state. That is the reason why the atoms of different elements are in constant struggle to achieve the octet state, or we can say stable state. Now children, what do you mean by stable state? Well, if the atom is having only one shell, the stable state is achieved by holding 2 electrons in it. It is called as a duplet state. Now children, if the atom has 2 or more shells, then the stable state is achieved by holding 8 electrons in the outermost shell. 8 electrons, you can see 8 electrons in the outermost shell. It is called as octet state. But do all the atoms have the stable state? Definitely not. Some atoms such as helium, neon and argon, they are in octet state. That is 8 electrons in the outermost shells. You can see children, the 8 electrons, either they are in the octet state or they are in the duplet state. That means they are stable. They will not participate in any chemical reaction. That is the meaning of stable. If the atoms are stable like helium, neon and argon, they will not participate in any chemical reaction. But some other atoms such as hydrogen, sodium or oxygen, here we can see they have the electronic configuration as 2h7, 2h1 and 2h6. In all this we can say the outermost shell, they are not having the octet state. That means they are unstable. So these atoms are not stable and they are having less than 8 electrons in the outermost shell. That means these all atoms, they are participating in the chemical reaction. They will participate in the chemical reaction, and when they will participate in the chemical reaction, what will happen? Bond will form. They will help in the bond formation. That means they will either give or take or share the electrons. It is called as a bond formation. So you can see here, when 2 or more electrons, they are giving or sharing or taking electrons, they are forming the bond. That means the compound is formed. But how it is decided that how many electrons to be given, taken or shared during a bond formation? Who decides all these things? Well, the answer for this question is valency. It means the combining capacity of an element. What does it exactly mean when we say the combining capacity of an element? It means that how many electrons can be given or taken or shared among them. Hence, if we want to say the definition of valency, we can say as the capacity of an atom to accept, donate or share electrons to achieve the octet state. Let me give some examples to understand the concept of valency. Now in case of hydrogen, we have just one electron in the outermost shell. That means it wants one more electron to achieve its duplet state. Why duplet state? So that hydrogen atom can become stable. Here the valency of hydrogen, we can say it is 1. Why we are saying the valency is 1? Because the hydrogen atom wants one more electron to become stable, and once it becomes stable, it will not participate in any chemical reaction. It will become stable. Hence we can say the valency of hydrogen is 1. Let's see one more example of oxygen. Now here the electronic configuration of oxygen is 2, 6. Now that means in the outermost shell of the oxygen atom, it has 6 electrons. Now how many more electrons are needed to complete the octet state of oxygen? Yes, it is 2. Thus we can say that the valency of oxygen is 2. Now let's see one more example of magnesium. Now here in the magnesium atom, can you tell the valency of the magnesium by seeing this structure? Yes, we can say the valency is, yes, can you tell children? First of all, let's see the electronic configuration. The electronic configuration of magnesium is 282. That means how many more electrons are needed? It requires 6 electrons. Already it has in the outermost shell, it has 2 electrons. That means it is in a unstable state. It is not in a stable state. But to complete a stable state, how many more electrons are required? 6 more electrons it's required. But it is not possible for any other atom to give away 6 electrons. Is it possible? No, other atoms will not give 6 electrons so easily. Then what will happen? What magnesium will do? Magnesium will complete its octet state by donating 2 electrons. Because taking 6 electrons is difficult, but donating 2 electrons is simple for the magnesium atom. So here we can say that magnesium, for the valency of magnesium atom is 2. So children, it is not only that the valency is stated by how many electrons are taken, but it is also how many electrons are given. That means we can say the valency means the number of electrons accepted or donated or shared. It is called as a valency. So this is the way how the valency of various atoms are calculated. Let's understand the valency with the help of a compound. Let's take the example of sodium chloride, that is NaCl. So here we will take 2 atoms of sodium. The electronic configuration of sodium is 281, and that of the chlorine, the electronic configuration is 287. Now by observing the valence electrons, valence means the electrons which are present in the outermost shell, the valence electrons and the valence shells, you can guess what's going to happen, children? Can you guess what's going to happen? Yes. Now in this, the sodium atom have 1 electron in the outermost shell, and the chlorine atom has 7 electron in the outermost shell. So sodium will it will donate 1 electron and chlorine will accept 1 electron from the sodium. Here in this diagram you can see the sodium atom will donate 1 electron and the chlorine atom is accepting 1 electron, so that both the atoms, they will be in the stable state and they will form a bond, that is sodium chloride bond, and the sodium chloride is formed. So in this way we can say that the valency of the sodium is 1 and the valency of the chlorine is also 1. This helps in the bond formation by which a molecule of NaCl, that is sodium chloride, is formed. Now children, it is not necessary the atoms having the same valency always combine to form a bond. Let me give you an example of hydrogen molecule. You know hydrogen molecule. The hydrogen molecule is having one electron in the outermost shell, and also the oxygen molecule have 6 electron in the outermost shell. Now in the water molecule, the hydrogen and oxygen, they both are combining together to form a bond. Now we know that the valency of hydrogen is 1 and the valency of oxygen is 2. That means hydrogen want 1 electron, whereas oxygen want how many? 2 electrons to come in the stable state. Now in this, when they want to attain the stability, here both needs electron. So how these two atoms will combine together to form a bond? Yes children, can you tell? Well, here they both will share electrons with each other. But how? Yes, for this, two hydrogen atom will combine together with the oxygen atom and they will share their electrons with each other. Here they are sharing the electrons with each other to give a single molecule of water. This is how the different valencies of different chemicals, atoms combine together to form a bond. In this way the concept of valency works children. So now children, we have studied in this now electronic configuration. Also we have seen how to find out the electronic configuration of an element, of various elements. We have seen the stable state of the various elements, various atoms. Also we have seen the valencies and how to find the valencies of various atoms. Now children, remaining topic we will cover in the next lesson. So thank you children. Bye. Take care.